Just get my water. Nope, I didn't. Alright. Good afternoon. I'm just going to wait a few minutes just to see if anybody else is going to join in. And my apologies for the tardiness. It was actually not my fault today. Not at all. You guys follow on Instagram. I did put up a post this morning from my phone. We have been without internet since yesterday. The whole state, which is crazy. And actually, I didn't experience anything until around midnight, and I didn't know what was going on. When I got up this morning, I just thought, you know what, this is crazy. So yeah, it's a whole discussion in itself with this internet service. Yeah, I can understand a part of a city or something like that having an outage, but the whole doggone state, come on, government, do better. And then they force you to have this service, this provider, claiming that other providers cannot service that area. But yeah, they work on demographics. They just want your money. That's it. I am still leaning on that issue anyway. I'm so over this internet deal already, even though we haven't had it back that long. I'm over it. It's more trouble than it's worth. So, mm, so, how are you all doing today? Trying to, I don't know. It just, this whole day is just thrown me for a loop. It feels like I'm forgetting things, and I don't know. It just feels strange. Maybe it's just me. Hmm. my intention was to come on and discuss this book, and hopefully with giving a couple of extra days, because I did say somewhere around the 29th, but not an exact. Um, everybody had a chance to actually read the book and process it. So we can kind of toss some things around, but if I see that nobody else comes in, there's really no, it's not a discussion. I'm not going to sit here and talk to myself. Like I said, I did leave the book, and you can read it or not, but the goal for a chat is to chat, not for me to talk about it.
We finished eating the popcorn.
Very good. Are you going to go back in there and finish that?
I did finish my thing.
I'm talking to Aaliyah. Go to the table.
I saw the food.
Come here. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, put that back. Come back in here and pick up everything you dropped.
Okay.
Put it right here on this chair. Come here. Come here. Put your tag in your shirt. In your dress. You want to say hello? You have to come over here. Oh, there you go. Now you can say hello. Look. Say hello. You can wave.
Hi.
Now go back.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
They can't really see you. But, okay.
Hi. 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 You gotta look at Mom down.
There you go.
Bye. Bye.
You have to come over here.
Bye. Bye.
There you go. All right. You go finish. And you just drop my water on my foot. All right. Wow, it's quiet today. Very quiet. So for those of you that are in this chat, have you read the book? I just don't want to make an assumption based on the fact that you are here, but it would make sense to be here to chat about the book. Right. Well, check something. Well, hmm. I guess I could talk about some other things, but I'm just not going to do that. Not today. I'll save that for another day, maybe. Hmm. It's just so loud outside. I'm just sitting here looking at the timer. That's it. Hmm. I'm at 13 minutes. 14 minutes. There's a fly flying around here. It is pretty safe to say that there just won't be a discussion on this book because obviously nobody has joined in. And yeah, so I won't make the assumption that nobody's interested, but um, nobody's here. Again, there's no reason to chat about it. I just thought it was very relevant to a lot of things that I see going on and hear going on, and a little bit of inspiration and encouragement. I thought I would pass along to those of you that need it, and you can take away what what you will from it, and yeah. I set aside 30 minutes for this, and it's already been 15 minutes. So I will carry on with my day. It's a lot of stuff. Brand new month. Um, Lots of what am I trying to think of? New Year's for us in the family. We have a lot of us are coming up on New Year life, and I think that's pretty awesome just to see a whole year, you know, visually know that a whole year has passed and what has happened in this year, a year of growth, year of setbacks, year of, just thankfulness, all together, regardless of what, season we were in um, this year. I'm so grateful to make it to this point, um, to be able to wake up today, tomorrow, hopefully the next day, and I can say I have embarked upon a whole new season. Some people don't make it to see the next day, let alone their next year. And wow. So it's a lot of stuff going on this month for us. Um, that's it. I just want to come in and set aside this little bit of time to do this little discussion and or chat, and hopefully inspire you all. I'm late. Shalom. Shalom. No, you're not. Well, I'm late. I was late. So that's why I'm kind of hanging out. But I didn't even know. I didn't take down the notification because I didn't feel like doing all that. I would have had to go desktop on my phone, and I didn't feel like doing all that. But because we didn't have any internet, I didn't know, or the state didn't have any internet. I didn't know if I was going to do this today or not. Whew, excuse me. So I would just count this one on a fluke, and I don't know. Maybe it'll come up later on in the chat or something if somebody has something, some thoughts on it. But I'm not going to schedule this again. I have a whole list of things that I hope to try to get through. Time permitted. You guys know I get so caught up with stuff. It's just, I have good intentions, but things happen and then I just have to roll with it. Okay, I did read the book. What did you think about it? Since you read the book, what did you think about it? It's so quiet in here. I'm not used to quiet. We always have music on. It just feels weird. And that's probably what it is. I just cannot put my finger on the aura of this room. I'm sorry, I was sitting here reading a pop-up. I'm so sick of reading this stuff about this dude. Every time I look up, it's something about this guy, this man that is supposed to be head official every day. Um, it was interesting, but the lady that resonated with me was Sarah Edwards. Wow. Being faithful in the mundane. Yes. I can see that. How how so? I mean, what do you think about what was it about Sarah? Just go out the window already. There's a fly flying around me and it's getting on my nerves. Sarah was humble and she had no problem serving God in her home. Hmm. And so, did you find a difference in her after uh, all of the tragedies that started happening in her life? She endured a lot, but yet she still managed to do the things she needed to do. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And kind of, I realize some people still may not have read this book, but um, I know I didn't say the death of her husband and so on and so on. But yeah, and that is kind of, I know a lot of people don't understand, some of the things I say or some of the things I talk about. It's over their head, or I don't know if it seems superficial. It's not. I can't speak on anybody else's walk but my own. It's just my own, and I'm not um, trying to come across as, I don't know. I don't even know. Superficial or egocentric. That's not it at all. Um, I'm just on a completely different platform in life. And I'm not saying it's better. There are a lot of things. I'm not saying I'm better or it's better, it's a higher level or anything. I have a different understanding because of the things that I have gone through. Now, that being said, I can come and talk about some things, speak on some things. And if I knew everything then I would not have gone through those things, those situations, because I've come through so much, just tragic. And I would have never, I would have even, I would have never even imagined that I would go through something like that. So, but what I do is bring a little bit of the strength and the inspiration, a little bit of moral from what I learned coming from that season. And, every day I grow, I learn so much, whether it's from myself or from someone else. No, you may not. It's still wet. Or even the kids. I just, I'm constantly evolving, constantly evolving. And, this, like I said, when I first presented the book, I said the women, um, there's somebody of those women, everybody can relate, I'm pretty sure, to at least one of them. If you don't get down off of that table, we are going to have a problem. Don't do that. But yeah, everybody can relate to at least one of those women. They can identify. Um, and pretty much, what it is these women went through different things, different seasons, different joys, different tragedies, and things like that. But through it all, they all persevered. They didn't let anybody stop them. Um, Even when they had people against them, it just seemed like they didn't let people get in their way. They persevered for their own faith. And that's why, I talked about people wavering in their faith. How strong are you? And it's not to, put anybody down or anything like that, but sometimes you have to stand up for things that you believe in, even if everybody's standing against you. And I've always been that type. Even if that does sound egocentric, so be it. That's just me. It's not to come across that way, but that's me. I don't chastise anybody for not feeling that way, but yeah. And not everybody is going to have a book written about them, like those women, or have their story written down. Um, However, I think we are all uh, representation of those women, and day to day, our character should reflect that. It's easy to say, but when we actually have that faith and we actually apply that faith, we see things start to move and evolve within our lives differently. At times I believe she was sad during the tragedies, but still found time to make sure to find the joy in the midst of the suffering, in which today's time is not easy to do. Yes, ma'am. That is what life is all about. It's about growing and moving forward. Exactly. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff in the last, I'm going to say 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 years, 16 years. A lot of stuff has happened, and I just, if I had not grown, if I had not, you know, kept that faith, I would still be stuck. I would still be stuck. If I had listened to people, excuse me, I would still be stuck. I heard a lot of, well, you can't do this, or I don't know how you could do this, or maybe that's not a good idea. But I've never never been one to listen to that. Because I'm like, my kids are, especially these little kids, we always question, um not question other people, but questioning the why. If you're telling me something, be able to explain the why, but more so be able to, does it make sense to you? Because ultimately you're not me, and you don't know every intimate detail. You may know a little bit, but not everything. So it's kind of hard to even lend yourself to tell somebody XYZ. So like when I say I bring things to you all and talk about them, and my experience and things like that, how I got through it. You may be going through the same thing, but in essence, it's not really the same thing. We're different people. Uh, Family dynamics are different. So how we overcame that is probably not going to be the same way you can overcome it, if that makes sense. And going back, to the book, the women, they overcame some great obstacles, and they faced just horrible things, um, throughout their journeys, but overall they actually made a difference, and not in themselves. They believed in themselves, and they made a difference in other people. Yeah, not many people, for instance, Sarah Edwards' family, the whole family was very prominent, person educated, and everybody does not have that privilege. Everybody does not strive to be that way. Oh my goodness. However, it's just through her rearing. Okay, will you do me a favor? Will you put those on the table? We're going to do that math, and when I finish, okay? Put your math book on the table. Let's see, who else stood out? Esther Kahn. Esther Kahn.
Hey guys, look.
Tremendous. Having to flee her family, face starvation, and just conditions, being in jail, and just and then even a relationship with her mother. And after she became ill and was released, she said, "I would rather be locked up than to have to live this way." And went back, and I just thought, wow, that's tremendous. But all because of her faith, and she would not change what she was taught, what she believed in her heart, no matter what was the norm. Trials have a way of really showing us who we are. Yeah, that's true. That is so true. Yep, they do. Like I said, I could have given up a long time ago, but you know, things happen every day around here, and I don't let that bother me. It bothered me temporarily. It used to bother me a lot, but I don't, because there are things that I am, you know, it's beyond me. It's truly beyond me. And there's no sense in trying to dwell on something. I work on the things that I can work on for the moment, things that I can change, even though it seems like, okay, you know, like if we want things, you know, it's a want, okay, it's a want. And oh, I want this, and I wish I can get that, and and those are the things that I've always not worry about. I pick and choose, okay. There are some, you know, we plan, but the plans don't always work. I work on the things that I can change myself, you know, even if it doesn't happen overnight. Um, you know, I work on what I can change, and everything else will come in time. Some things, you know, I'm still waiting on, but I do know that blessings never expire. So that's the good thing about faith. It's not you know, keep your faith, pray about it, and tomorrow, next day, it's just, you know, instantly granted. It doesn't work like that. One of the parts of the book that stuck out. I need give me 5 minutes, okay?
Okay.
Go in and have a seat. Give me about 5 more minutes.
Okay.
Rose in the book, she was a missionary in Africa, and the part that she was talking about the mother that gave birth to that baby. And she left. She had a small child, a 2-year-old, and you know, she died during the childbirth, and that baby was already sick and premature, and they had a problem because they had run out. The last hot water bottle burst, and they didn't know what they were going to do, and she knew tomorrow that baby was going to be dead because it just cannot keep its temperature.
Connecticut.
And she's just like, to get, you know, another hot water bottle right now would just be truly a godsend. You know, and so somebody had to had the sole job of holding that baby, you know, all day and night just to keep that baby warm. And she didn't know when she got home that there was a package.
Oh, you mean baby bombs?
And in that package was a hot water bottle. And she just thought, how? You know, and she had also prayed for a doll for the little girl, the little sister. And when she saw that hot water bottle, she said, surely there must be a doll in this box. And all the little orphan children were standing around watching her dig through this box. And the bottom of that box was a doll. But the thing is, that box had been on its way for 5 months. Because, you know, they're in the jungle in Africa. So it wasn't an overnight deal. To me, that's just like, wow, he was right on time with that. He knew all along. So, and that's how I feel with things. You know, we are constantly tested for things, and in the beginning when we're going through things, it seems like, you know, it's things are impossible. That was an impossible prayer. That's how that was presented in that book. Things are impossible that we face. But in essence, it's not something that's impossible, because he won't put anything on us that we cannot handle. It's something that we've already come through. We just don't recognize it. We don't recognize it at all. And when we come through it later on, we can say, we made it through something impossible. Let me read this. One thing that did bother me was about the missionary in Africa. I don't think everyone who calls themselves a missionary should be going to Africa. I don't believe God called people to do that today. What do you think? 2 minutes. Go into the living room for me.
Why 2 minutes for what?
And I will be finished with my chat. One thing that did bother me. Different strokes for different folks. I don't, everything is not what it appears to be. Missions have different principles, different beliefs, and different MOs. And that's just pretty much anything we encounter today. Organization, non-organization, everybody has a different MO. So, what their objective is, all I can say is, hopefully, they are guided by a higher calling, and the outcome is positive. It's not something that, like I said, if it's something that you want to change and you just want to change it and it's actually beyond your realm, that will reflect anyway. It'll fail. If there's no faith in it, it's going to fail. It's just like homeschooling. If there's no faith, no true faith, you can, say, I'm teaching this and I'm teaching that, and we do this and we do that, and devotion this and devotion that. But if there's no true faith, if your school is not built on a foundation of faith, it's going to fail. You will run into all kinds of problems. I see it all the time. All of the time. That's where the struggles come in. I'm burnt out. The kids are burnt out. The kids don't understand. We're frustrated. Where's your faith? God wants us to be perfect before Him. Yes, different and all. Honestly, it's a guilty conscience. It could be guilty for some. It could be. But again, I don't know. I know there are people that are truly serving, and they really do make a difference. But yeah, there's always somebody out there just in it for kudos and accolades. Get down.
Okay.
You want to go out, you need to not climb up there. Get down.
Okay.
Have you cleaned up the table?
I'll go clean it.
Clean off the table and then get your shoes on. What are you doing? I just realized what you have. You know what? Let me have that. See? Did you take the whole line of them? You took all of them, didn't you? My goodness, kid.
I'm not going to take
You're not going to take all of them? You left me 2 on here?
Oh, you ripped it.
Oh, boy. She's sitting there playing with my paper reinforcements. I don't know why they think these things are stickers. I know they look like stickers, but they're not. They're just holes. It's circles.
The box to see.
I know, but they're mine, right? Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
Okay. I give you guys stickers all the time. Here. Here. Go finish your lunch. All right. That's why with homeschooling.
Would you mind filling this back up with water?
That's enough for that right now. That's enough. I'll fix it. And that's not water. Okay. That's why with homeschooling, Christ has to be in the center. Head, center, end. Head, center, end. Head, center, end. Because see, what happens is, and I understand what you're saying, but center, in the middle, start with, build it. Build it with Christ. Before I open up any kind of manual and all that kind of stuff, I have to pray about it. I have to consult the Bible before I open up anything, because that is not going to tell me what to do. In the end, I have to pray over the end of the day. You know what happened. You know what was flawed. You know what was fine. You know what needs to be changed. Whose heart needs to be changed. What have you. You're going to have to hold on just a second. So, but I totally get what you said about that. In the center. You have to hold it a second. Anyway, it's in my pocket. I'm learning that homeschooling takes courage. Courage to go against what is being taught. The courage to live differently. It does. It really does. It takes lots of courage. And, it takes lots of patience. And I know a lot of people think you have to give up a lot. You don't have to give up a lot. You have to be willing to learn a lot. That's all that is. You have to be willing to learn a lot. You're not really giving up. You're gaining more than you give up. Go against what is being taught. And, even if, nobody else believes in it, believe in what you believe in. and instill that into the children. Teach them that it is okay to think outside the box, live outside of the box, and they will understand. They will truly understand. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Like I said, if anything, hopefully the book was an inspiration to for you all not to give up. I know everybody's faced with challenges, just daily challenges from, the women in there. They talk about finances and health struggles and struggles in the family and the marriage and, just all sorts of things. Some of the women weren't even married, but through it all, their faith prevailed. And so I'm not waking up thinking I'm gonna conquer the world before everybody else, but I can do what I can do in my own home. I do take things seriously because my children's education are in my hands. And a lot of people kind of take that, they take it lightly, but I can't take that lightly because that's their future. And if I fail them, then what hope am I giving them? What chance have I given them in life? So, and no, it's not easy. I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything. What are we? This is November. A couple months ago, I came and there was just struggle and just challenge. And, but like I said, I could have easily took that child down the street and said, hey, let's go to school. I could have done that. It could have, I could have just shut everybody down and said, hey, let me just put y'all over here because this is overwhelming me and um, it's too much. But, I didn't do that. I didn't do that at all. If anything, I had to pray more than normal just to, um, just to help everybody else out because I didn't know what else to do. And again, if I knew everything, we wouldn't have even got to that point. But I can truly say today, it didn't take much. It didn't take much at all. I didn't, I gave myself the grace. I gave her some grace and time, and I had to explain to everybody else what was going on. And, everybody else wanted to, help out. What can I do? Yeah, I don't let things just kind of get me down in the dumps because it affects everybody, not just me. Immediately it may seem like, it's something I'm dealing with, but it's going to manifest into the whole family. And that's why I said I make my children understand accountability from a very early age. And a lot of people don't do that. And I do. And I had to say, hey, look, this is what you're doing to everybody else. Because if I did not do that, that child would not understand that this is something serious. You cannot affect everybody else's, education because you have, a chip. And yeah, this is put a little guilt on it. And either if you are raising a truly, I don't want to say good, but if you teach your children good character, values, morals, then they will understand. They will truly understand. If we constantly, the fruit of the spirit, I constantly direct them to live good character. They are.
Hey, look, the thing.
So, But yeah, I know I have just put up,
This purple is really sharp.
what did I just put up? Curriculum.
How do you
A video, finally.
Does it go like this?
You know what? You have two mismatched shoes. So one must be yours and one must be Leah's. Can you go find two more? And let's see if we can get a match. Finally. Because I just didn't have a chance to lay that stuff out. And, yeah, it take me to this point. But, you all saw math. And don't stomp your feet. It has been a game changer. I just overnight, that was my plan. So hopefully later on I'll be able to edit the stuff, put the clips together. But I had, from the beginning to the package to what they've been doing, have all that stuff in little clips. It was like magic. It was truly like magic.
Does it go like this?
Day and night.
Does it go like this?
To switch what we were doing. It just, the prayer and the, it was like magic.
We know this.
Here, this is the shoe. That's the way. And I also want to say magic, but we have truly seen a difference in what we are using. And I'm glad that we got to this point because, like I said, I had to wait. It's not that it's something new to me. I had already known about this, but I had to wait for this next edition to come out. Don't do that. So, yeah. They are truly in here, especially that one. We have no issues. No issues at all. I want to do more. If we don't do anything else all day, they want to do math. You just heard these two a few minutes ago. They had the math book. That's all they want to do. And it's like, let's do it. If that's all you want to do, well, let's just do math all day. And I'm fine with that. So, that's a good thing. But it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. Exactly. It starts from young. They know that if they try to be disrespectful, that will be there. Setting things in order. Yeah, I think Becca is similar to the curriculum that I think that's supposed to be you are using. Probably. It's not. It's not at all. It's not. This one is not at all. And I'm going to do a review on it. Like I said, I've already known about it. And it's so much that not just the math, but I've looked into the actual schools. Because they have actual schools. So I'm weighing, because I've already talked about schools later on. But I'm trying to, that's a bill. That's a whole big bill. And I got away from that whole big bill when I pulled these kids out of the Montessori. That they actually used a Becca on. But no, this one's completely different. And I'm going to get into that review pretty soon. But I'm going to share this little part. And just kind of show you guys. Because somebody, the little tidbit that I shared, I didn't show the book. The front of the book. But somebody picked up on it. And they were like, what is that? I've never seen anything. And it's completely different. It's completely different. And it's so much that I had in one of the, I don't know if it's going to be a clip or it may have to be a separate. I don't know how long it was. But it's so much that I was telling my son that, can I order one of these books because I want one too. And he looked at me like, Mom. And I'm like, if I had learned math that way, I wouldn't be as, I've always had trouble with math. But if I had learned it the way they're learning it in this curriculum, I would not have any problem with that book. And I've not seen anything. And you guys know I study things intently. It took me a long time to kind of figure, and I was trying to find something else. And then when I saw this other one that I bought the little ones, it was like, which one do I? So I said, you know what? I didn't really particularly like it because of the stuff that I saw, but it's doing the job. I need them to be able to write these numbers. It is doing the job for that, but they're doing something completely different, you know, because I need them to stay up on their addition and subtraction. And that book just is too monotonous. Um, so that's the reason why I wouldn't pick it for the older ones. But is it? No, it's not. That book, those books, the math books are only 1940, and the teacher's edition, which you need, is $90, but you can download it PDF for $20. So you buy it. When I do the review, I will show, a little bit. And I do want to say, legally, I'm not supposed to flip through that book. The clips that I show in the video, because I'm not really pointing the stuff out, you will see if you get a good look. But they do have on the on their samples. Their samples are very true to what you get in that book. And as far as it being Bible based, the schools are. I want to say Abeka is more Bible driven. This is very gentle. You will see a picture of a church in the book teaching doubles, relates to the animals in the flood. Yes, I mean in the ark, Noah in the ark. It's very gentle. It's a little picture. It's not anything just so in your face. There is a scripture, and what the kid I had said, I led into this earlier in this chat. The why. My kids are into apologetics. Okay, they want to know, why didn't the dinosaurs eat the people on the ark? That's, we get into stuff like that. It's teaching them how math relates to the universe, not just 1 + 1 is 2, 2 × 2 is 4, that type of thing. How it fits. We were into, and I haven't shared it, they're into geometry. They had no idea all along that when I gave them geo boards way back years ago, that they were actually things for math. I just gave it to them, and they've been using them ever since. They opened up their math book the other week, and they get these geo boards, and they learn about angles. And they were like, I said, you had no idea this had to do with math, did you? No, I didn't, Mom. I just kind of sneak stuff in there. So it's that type of thing. And that to me, that's why I give them a lot of games and things.
The snake that died wasn't poison. When I was reading the snake fact book on the computer, it says snakes with rounder heads aren't poison.
Okay, go clean your face off.
Okay.
But yeah, they need to know explain it. How does this apply to our life? How is math relevant? And also, the other book does do that because it gives them, the lesson. It's a living book. It is a living book. And so they understand that it's just really, really slow. And it's a huge difference between the two curriculum. So, yeah, hold up 1 second. But they get, I want to say, what else is in there? There's really nothing else that points to, it's more, I wouldn't even put it in I wouldn't put it in a worldview category because it's not anything indoctrinating. So, that's the thing. I wouldn't, other than the scripture, as in the beginning of the lesson, that's how it starts out. And it's just that one thing, it's not telling them, hey, you have to memorize this, hey, you have to do this. It is, it will tell you, explain this to them, and how it does, fit, how God designed math in everyday living. So, and if anybody has a problem with that, then they're not, obviously they don't use the Bible, you know. So that's all I can say. Either you use it or you don't. So, but it's not you turn the page and every page there's a scripture. That's not that. You don't have that in there. You get 12 scriptures in that book. Just 12 chapters. That's it.
Mom,
Yes, ma'am.
things are funny.
Oh, no. Things are not funny. Okay? It's like, things are not funny.
No, Mom, we said something else.
But anyway, they are loving it. They are thriving. They are, they want to do a whole chapter, in one day. So if we can do that and they actually are understanding, I don't have any problem with it at all. But I know I had not seen anybody, and I always wondered why nobody ever gravitated or anybody ever even. I seen somebody use something else, and it wasn't math, but something else they kind of recommend, ACSI, but I've not seen anybody use math, and I was just like, why? And that's the first thing, because when I hear people start gravitating towards a certain thing, like now there's this wave on a certain curriculum, everybody's talking about it, I shake my head right away, because I know it's something about it that, what am I missing? And then when I go and look at it, it's like, oh, okay. Okay, but to each his own. I respect that. But this one here is definitely winner, and I'm very picky, especially when it comes to math. I need something strong, and it kind of took away my itch to, I was thinking about switching, splitting up the curriculum to where both the kids will be doing two different curriculum, because one is willing to work on their own and the other one is not. And so we were at that point. But I don't have to do that because they're both, this has definitely been a new experience. So, anywho, let me get out of here. As of right now, Rebecca is our choice, but that can change if something better comes up. Okay. Like I said, yeah, in a school setting, it's fine. I got some stuff on the shelf. In a school setting, it is fine. I just, personally am not fond of the homeschool part of it. But, those that have used it, they seem to enjoy it. But once we choose a curriculum, we are going to stick with it. To continue to buy different curriculum is a waste of money. Yeah, that's been my thought. We have used the same thing. I didn't, I'm not deviating from anything. I just wanted to show you guys. I've been showing clips of this whole year. We haven't changed anything. We haven't changed anything. And the stuff I already had is not something I went and bought, with the exception of the math. And I just, did not have to share it because that wasn't something we were using. Like I said, the language arts, I was already using that with the high schooler. So it's nothing different to us. It's just I had never shown it. But, no, I showed his, but not everybody else's. But it's nothing different. And, yeah, we just kind of stick with what we have and make what we have work. Because a lot of too much, all the switching and things like that, that brings confusion. It really brings confusion. So, I don't want to do that. I don't have the, truly, I understand if it's a problem, then, we need to evaluate some things and see what's going on. But I'm going to evaluate, everything, not just, okay, you don't want to use this. I'm going to go get something else. I'm not going to do that, because that you're giving a child a freedom to choose that. When they get old enough, the child should be choosing whatever it is they are using. But to just outright, start turning over curriculum left and right, that is a waste of money, and it looks foolish. A lot of people will not agree with that, but it looks foolish, because if you have learned your child's learning style and your teaching style, you shouldn't have to turn over stuff left and right. So, but that's it. I'm just me. But I hear it. I hear it often. I hear a lot of people saying just what I just said. You shouldn't have to turn it over. You stick with it. I still have time to change it, if anything. But once I send the I hit, then that's it. Like I say, just, if you've done your research and you know what you're doing, and I know the first thing a lot of people do is, I'm looking for a Bible-based curriculum, and that's it right there, because that is the most popular choice. Don't do it. Because, again, I've heard, homeschool-wise, the homeschool and the actual school curriculums are different anyway. I like the school curriculum. But a lot of people don't use the whole, I don't know what you're going to select from it. A lot of people will not use their whole curriculum, every subject, because they may use phonics and nothing else. They may use math, which is Horizons, and nothing else. They may only use it for a certain grade, and that's it, because it just is not effective. A lot of people give it up because it's too much seat work. It is. So it's a matter of, your preference, your child's learning style. You're right about that, though. A lot of, not to blame it on the child and say it's not working, but in real life, it's the parent that's not getting it. Exactly. Like I say, when I can, I'm sitting here getting this math. If it were me, that's why we both consulted on the problem. It was, how are you teaching this? Let me see what you're doing. How many ways have you presented? Are you using this? Are you using that? But let me see before I can make the determination, because I had to get help before I just kind of self-destructed. I'm like, I don't know what to do with her. Is it me? Tell me if I'm doing something wrong, because you are a math major. I'm not. Am I doing something wrong? And if I'm teaching them both the same way, not that I put them both on the same. We don't even consider them twins. They're born on the same day, but that's not how I teach them. And I think more so because they're a girl and boy, I never thought of them that way. So, and I know their strengths and weaknesses, but I never said, okay, well, if he can do it, then you should be able to do it. I don't do things like that. But I said, help me out, let me know. Is this something that I'm doing? Because if it's something that I'm doing, then I need to own that, and I need to be able to correct that, because it may not stop with her. I may be doing the same thing to somebody else. So, and that's a whole, other thing I'm going to get in, as far as reading. I see a lot of things with reading, and I know I keep saying that, but it's a lot. It's a lot, and I'm trying to condense it so it's not very long, but I can see maybe a multiple part, talk on the issue, and a lot of it is parent error. It's not the child, it's parent error with these kids, especially the bigger ones, 5.5, 6 years old, 7 years old. That's a parent error, and it started way before, and they're just now recognizing it as, oh, my child is struggling. Your child was already struggling. So I'll get into that later on. The Bible I will be teaching. The Bible. My oldest has a problem with seat work. Anyways, is the one that's another story. But she's freshly 3. Yeah, some kids just don't like the little seat work. You can blame them. And that's my one. This one with all the whatever. She's not she's very kinesthetic, and I know that. So she's not but like I said, this has been a difference, and it's not just the math. It has made a difference in the reading and everything. So, because that was a main thing. It wasn't that math. She didn't want to read anything, and I'm like, girl, you can't just do school and not read. You have to read instructions for spelling. You have to read it for vocabulary. You have to read it for grammar, science, for your Bible. You have to read. And if you don't want to read, then you cannot stop us. So, yeah. But, I've been working with her and so things have changed. So, anyway, let me get in here and get moving. I have some things to do, and yeah, we got some stuff that we need to work on today. Some things I need to do, and I have a little bit of time to do that. And this one, yeah, fresh like 3. Oh boy, yeah, those 3-year-olds are they are they're a handful, and all I can say is read, teach phonics, just work on the phonics. That's it. Work on your phonics. And I've got some, like I said, I'm going to try to get some stuff. Actually, I have to. Oh, boy. I don't know. I have little kids math and I have the big kids math. So I'm going to try to get those 2 things up in the next couple days. And yeah, I'm going to try to get them up because they're not up. They're not scheduled. I'm going to try to get that stuff up and out of the way so you guys can kind of see some stuff. What's going on and things like that. And I will come in later with something else. I don't know when I'll be back on, with a chat. If I have something to say. Although somebody just was telling me I'm talking too much. And I'm like, a lot of times when I come on making videos, and it's not, I don't really point it out. But they're questions, and all the questions are not on here. They're not posted as comments. And so when I'm talking about something, I'm trying to explain something. And so that's where that comes from. Okay, it's not that I'm just, if I'm rambling, I'm rambling. I'm going to tell you I'm rambling. But a lot of times I'm trying to explain something to somebody in a video. So that is why it's so lengthy. But, yeah, if I'm talking too much, don't watch. I'm sorry. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. But I've seen some that just talking. It's just nothing. And it's like, wow. I don't know what gives. So, but yeah, phonics. So, anywho, today's Friday. No, today is not Friday. See, I'm ready for the weekend. Tomorrow's Friday. Hopefully you all have a blessed week. And I will see you all in the vlogs. And if you do not get a chance to read the book, the link is still in the description box. And, go ahead and, you can drop a comment in the chat, in the video, once it has rendered. And, yeah. But hopefully it, if anything, it's just something to give you a chance to think about things. Persevere. Don't give up. Just keep the faith. So I see some people get, as soon as they come on, they get 40 listeners. It's kind of, yeah, it's a lot of, because it's too busy. You know, it gets really busy. And so, and when I sit down and talk, I'm talking you guys through things, I can think a little bit better. And so it's really, I'm not really rambling. It's explaining something to somebody. So you just kind of bear with me, because to that person, they really needed that. And again, I don't always point it out and say, so-and-so asked me this question. Sometimes I will, or I've gotten several questions. Sometimes I will, but sometimes I won't for personal reasons. And, just the same as they won't come in and say, thank you. I know they got it, because they will send me otherwise, but I respect that. So kind of bear in mind, that's where I'm coming from. It's not, I don't have anything else to do but to sit and talk. Peace.